How do lawyers communicate clearly and politely by email or messaging apps? In this beginner legal English class, you will learn common phrases for greetings, closings, and everyday messages. You will also practice using the present simple and modal verbs like can, could, and would to make polite requests. This class is perfect for legal professionals who want to sound professional in any message, formal or informal. Learning legal English can be very difficult. That's why we built a step by step course in school. Join our school group to build your legal English skills with lessons, live webinars, and a forum so you can finally speak legal English with confidence. Click on the link in the description. Here is what you'll learn today. First, you'll see how to start and end emails professionally using the right greetings and closing depending on who you are writing to. Then you will learn the difference between formal and informal tone, when to say hi versus dear, or thanks versus best regards. We will also use the present simple tense, like I send the report every Monday, to describe email routines and work habits. Finally, you will learn to make polite requests using words like can, could, and would. Very useful for asking clients, coworkers, or managers to do something politely. Let's go. Let's begin with the question. How do you usually communicate at work? Do you send emails, use WhatsApp or another messaging app, call people, or maybe all of them? In legal work, communication is key, and much of it is written. Email is the most formal and common way to speak with clients. There are also messaging apps like Slack or Teams. Those are often used with coworkers. Think for a moment. How do you usually send updates to a client? Do you use email more than apps? What words do you use to start an email? These small choices make a big difference. In this lesson, you will learn how to use the right tone and the right words for clear, polite, and professional communication. Let's start with a very common word in legal emails, dear. We use this word to begin a formal message. It's polite and respectful. For example, Dear Mr. Chen, I am writing to confirm our meeting. When you are talking to a client, a boss, or someone you do not know very well, dear is the safe and professional choice. You follow it with Mr. or Miss and the last name, never the first name in formal emails. This little word sets the tone. It tells the reader this message is serious and respectful. Now let's look at kind regards. This is how we politely end an email. It's formal but friendly, just right for a lawyer or legal assistant. For example, please let me know if you have any questions. Kind regards, Anna. You can use this phrase with clients, coworkers, or anyone in a professional setting. Think of it like a little bow at the end of your message. It shows that you are polite, helpful, and respectful. Exactly the image you want to give in legal work. Next, let's talk about hi. This is a friendly, informal way to start a message. Perfect when you're writing to a coworker or teammate you know well. For example, hi Lucas, I just sent the updated contract. It's short, warm, and relaxed. But remember, you should only use hi in the right setting. If you're writing to a client, use dear instead. So if you're emailing your team or chatting on WhatsApp or Slack, hi is a great way to say hello without sounding too formal. Now, here is a very useful phrase. Please see attached. This is what we write when we send a document with our email. It tells the reader, I've included a file. Please take a look. For example, please see attached the signed agreement. It's formal, direct, and polite. Perfect for legal emails. You can also say, attached is the file, but please see attached is the most professional and common form. This is a great phrase to remember because lawyers often send contracts, forms, or legal documents by email. Here's another helpful phrase. Let me know. It's a soft, polite way to ask for a reply or response. For example, let me know if you have any questions. This phrase makes you sound friendly and helpful, not too formal, not too pushy. It's great for the end of an email when you want the other person to feel comfortable replying. You can use it with clients, coworkers, or even your boss. It shows you're open and ready to help. Now, let's look at the word thanks. It's simple, short, and polite, and we use it all the time in messages, especially when we want to be a bit more relaxed. For example, thanks for your help with the documents. You can use thanks at the end of a quick email or a message in an app like Teams or WhatsApp. It shows appreciation without being too formal. In legal offices, you'll see this between coworkers, not usually with clients unless you already have a friendly relationship. But with your team, thanks goes a long way. Have you ever sent an email and then waited and waited for a reply? That's when you use this phrase, just following up. Just following up on the contract we discussed last week. It's polite and professional. It shows that you're not angry or impatient. You're simply checking in. This is great for client emails or even for reminding coworkers about tasks or questions. It's soft and respectful, but it still gets the message across. Here is a very formal phrase to whom it may concern. We use this when we don't know who will read the message. For example, to whom it may concern, I am writing about the missing invoice. This greeting is polite and respectful, but a little distant. Use it only when necessary. It's always better to use a person's name if you can, but when you really don't know who the message is for, this is the safest and most professional choice. Sincerely. Let's talk about sincerely, a very traditional and formal way to end an email or letter. For example, I hope to hear from you soon. Sincerely, Gabriella. You'll often see this in legal letters, formal job applications, or messages to important clients or institutions. It sounds very respectful, but maybe a little too formal for everyday messages. Think of it as your suit and tie closing. It works when the topic is serious or when the person is someone you need to show extra respect to. Finally, let's look at the subject line. This is the short sentence at the top of every email. It's the first thing people see. For example, subject line, meeting rescheduled to Friday. A good subject line is clear and simple. It helps the reader understand what the email is about before they even open it. In legal work, this saves time and shows you are organized. Try to always include a useful subject line. It makes your emails more professional and easier to find later. Let's do a quick practice. Imagine this, you're writing an email to a new client you've never spoken before. The topic is a legal contract. Look, three options. Hi, Thomas. Friendly, but too casual for a new client. Hello? Not bad, but It feels a bit incomplete and informal. Dear Mr. Thomas, this is the best choice. It's respectful, formal, and professional. Exactly what we want in legal writing. So remember, when you are writing to a client, especially for the first time, always use dear, title, Mr. or Miss, plus the last name. Here's another one. This time, the closing. Let's say you just sent a file to a client. You wrote, I've attached the file you requested. Please let me know if you have any questions. Now, how do you end the message? Thanks? It's nice, but too informal. Better for coworkers. Sincerely, it's very formal for official letters, but a little too stiff, a little too formal here. Kind regards. It's perfect. It's polite, professional, and friendly. That's why kind regards is the most common email closing in the legal world. Okay, let's imagine a real situation. You have just finished reviewing a contract, and now you want to send it to the legal assistant. Which sentence sounds professional and clear? Where is the contract? That's a question, not helpful here. Let me know what you think. This is polite, but it doesn't tell them you're sending the file. Please see attached the signed contract. This is the best choice. It's clear, formal, and very common in legal emails. You're telling the person, here's the file, please look at it. Simple and professional. Here's a great question. Can you feel the tone in these two emails? Let's look at option A. Hi, Clara. I sent the papers. Thanks. This is friendly and informal. It's great for chatting with a coworker you know well. Now, option B. Dear Miss Gomez, please see attached. Kind regards. This one sounds more formal. It's respectful and professional, the kind of tone we use with clients or someone we don't know personally. So the correct answer is B. Tone matters, especially in law. You want to match your language to the relationship. Let's start with the present simple, the tense we use for routines and habits. In legal work, we use the present simple to describe what we do every day or every week. For example, I check my email every morning. This tells us it is something regular, not just one time. She sends documents to the client. Here, we are talking about a habit, something she does often. We use Teams for quick messages. This shows how your team normally communicates. So remember, use the present simple when you're describing your daily work. Let's look more closely at how the present simple works. When we use I, you, we, and they, the verb stays the same. I send emails. They write reports. But when we use he, she, or it, we add s or es to the verb. He sends emails. She writes contracts. This is a small change, but very important. In legal English, people expect accuracy, and grammar mistakes can feel unprofessional. So always watch the ending when you talk about other people's routines. In legal communication, we often ask people to do things, send a file, check a document, confirm a meeting. But we don't want to sound rude or too direct. So we use modal verbs, special helping verbs that make our request sound polite and professional. For example, can you send the file? This is direct but still polite. Could you check the contract? This is more polite, little bit softer. Would you confirm the date? This is the most formal, very respectful. great for clients or supervisors. You can choose how polite you want to sound, but all three are good tools for polite legal English. Let's look at these three modals on a scale. Politeness. Can you send me the report? This is simple, polite, and common among coworkers. Could you check the file, please? This sounds more polite. We often use this with people we don't know well or when we want to be a little more careful. Would you mind confirming the date? This is very polite, almost like a gentle invitation. It is great for clients or formal emails. So when you ask for something in a legal setting, choose the level of politeness based on the person and the situation. Now, let's practice polite requests, a very useful skill in legal English. You're writing to a new client, so you want to sound friendly, but also professional and respectful. Look at these two options. Can you sign the agreement? Could you please sign the agreement? The best answer is B. Why? Because it's a bit softer. Could you please sounds polite, respectful, and calm. Great for professional communication. Use this kind of language to make sure your requests sound helpful, not bossy. Let's try another real life situation. Imagine you're writing to a coworker. You normally meet with the client on Mondays, but now you want to check if the meeting time has changed. Which sentence sounds clear and professional? I meet clients. Can you tell me the time? This is too general and a little abrupt. I meet with the client every Monday. Would you let me know the new time? This is the best answer. I meet the client every Monday uses the present simple to describe a regular routine. Then, would you let me know the new time? That's a very polite request. It's soft, respectful, and professional. I am meeting the client, you tell me the time. This is not correct English. The grammar is off and it doesn't sound polite. So go with B. It's clear, correct, and exactly how you want to speak in legal emails. Let's start with a very useful idiom on the same page. In legal work, it's important that everyone understands the situation clearly. When people are on the same page, they agree and share the same information. For example, before the meeting, we made sure we were on the same page about the contract terms. This means we checked that everyone agreed on what the contract said before we moved forward. It helps avoid confusion and mistakes. Next is a formal phrase, as per our conversation. This is very common in emails and legal letters. It means according to what we talked about before. For example, as per our conversation yesterday, please review the attached documents. Here, you remind the reader about an earlier discussion and link it to your current message. It keeps communication clear and professional. Here's a popular idiom, touch base. It means to quickly connect with someone to share updates or check information. For example, I wanted to touch base about the upcoming court date. This is like saying, let's check in and make sure everything is ready. It's informal, but still professional enough for everyday communication. Here is another important phrase for your reference. We use this when we want to give someone information or documents that might help them understand or remember something. For example, for your reference, I have included the previous agreement below. This phrase helps keep communication clear and professional by showing you are providing helpful background or context. It's very common in legal emails and letters when sharing documents. Here is another good one: get back to you. It means you will respond after checking facts or talking to others. For example, I will get back to you after I speak with the client. This shows you are following up and keeping the conversation open. It's polite and clear, perfect for legal communication. Finally, a very polite phrase: at your earliest convenience. It means, please do this as soon as you can, but without pressure. For example, please review the contract at your earliest convenience. It shows respect for the other person's time while also emphasizing the importance of the task. This phrase is a staple in professional legal emails. Let's finish by imagining a real workday in a legal office. Ted is a legal assistant who starts his day by checking his email. He always uses polite greetings like good morning and signs off with best regards, small touches that show professionalism. Today, Ted needs to ask his supervisor for some important documents. He chooses to say, could you please send me the signed contract? This polite request helps keep good relationships and shows respect. Next, Ted wants to make sure everyone understands the plan for a client meeting. He writes, before we meet, let's make sure we are on the same page about the contract terms. Using this idiom helps avoid confusion and keeps the team coordinated. And when Ted sends documents, he writes, for your reference, I have attached the client's agreement. This formal phrase lets the reader know the files are included and important to review. Throughout the day, Ted touches base with his coworkers, a quick check in to keep communication smooth. And by using the present simple tense to describe routines and modal verbs like can, could, and would to make polite requests, Ted's emails and messages are clear, respectful, and professional. This is how managing legal communication helps a legal team work efficiently, building trust and clarity with every message. Before we finish, let's review everything you learned today. First, you mastered important vocabulary for legal emails and messaging, from greetings to polite requests and document related phrases. You practiced the simple present tense, which helps you talk about your daily work routines clearly. Then, you learned how to use modal verbs can, could, and would to make polite, respectful requests that are perfect for professional communication. We also explored useful idioms and legal phrases like on the same page, touch base, and for your reference. Phrases that help your messages sound natural and professional. Altogether, these skills will help you write clear and professional emails and messages in a legal setting. Great job today. Keep practicing, and you'll communicate confidently in no time. We know learning legal English as a beginner is difficult, so that's why we created our school group. We have easy lessons, live webinars, and a supportive forum. There, you can start speaking legal English confidently. The link is in the description.